Right, we are going to get started. This is a regular meeting of the Hamilton County Board of County Commissioners. It's November 20th, 2025. Thank you all for being here. We start our meetings with silent prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance, so please join us in silent prayer. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's do introductions from the dais.
Christy Rischel, Assistant Clerk.
Leslie Hervey, Clerk to the Board.
Stephanie Summerall Dumas, Commissioner.
Jeff Aludo, County Administrator.
Patrick Dressing, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney.
And I'm Commissioner Denise Treehouse. I'm going to make a motion that we approve of the minutes of the previous session.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes?
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Thank you. We do have a presentation today. We are going to take it at the top of the meeting here. This is a proclamation honoring Her Cincinnati and Off the Streets for their outstanding community service. So we are going to read the proclamation and then ask you to come forward, make some comments, and then we'll take a photo if that's all right with you all. So I'm going to launch right into the proclamation honoring Her Cincinnati and Off the Streets for their outstanding community service. Whereas for 195 years, Her Cincinnati, formerly known as Cincinnati Union Bethel, has been a steadfast leader among human service agencies, providing supportive services and education that empower women, children, families, and communities to thrive.
And whereas rooted in a rich history of service, guided by its mission to offer hope, elevate voices, and help individuals realize their potential, Her Cincinnati has continually demonstrated its commitment to collaboration and innovation, notably through the development and ongoing success of the Off the Streets program. Whereas launched in 2006, Off the Streets program provides a safe, supportive, and trauma-informed residential program for women seeking recovery from substance use disorder and freedom from sex trafficking. And whereas the program exemplifies the success that can result from collaboration among the criminal justice system, local government, healthcare providers, substance abuse, and mental health treatment providers, social services, and more than 50 nonprofit agencies, all working together for the good of our community. And whereas Off the Streets helps women move towards safety, recovery, empowerment, and community reintegration by providing housing, treatment. Boy, I know you guys are tired doing
That's right.
counseling, education, workforce development, and supportive services. And whereas, since its inception, Off the Streets has served more than 2,000 women, offering hope in those seeking a new beginning, elevating them on their journeys toward independence, and helping guide positive changes to realize brighter, sustainable futures.
And whereas Her Cincinnati and Off the Streets program provide an extraordinary impact, and their staff, volunteers, and supporters must be recognized for their unwavering commitment to addressing a critical crime and safety issue within our community. So now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Commissioners of Hamilton County does hereby recognize and commend Her Cincinnati and Off the Streets for their extraordinary impact and extends its deepest appreciation to their staff, volunteers, and supporters for their unwavering commitment to addressing the critical crime and safety issue within our community. And be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio, does hereby proclaim November 20th, 2025 as Her Cincinnati and Off the Streets Day in all of Hamilton County. So please come forward, introduce yourself and your team, if you would.
Yes, my name is Fayam Barnett, Managing Director of Recovery Services at Her Cincinnati. Today, I have our President and CEO, Beth Swartz, with me as well. Right now, it's heavy. Everything that you read, it speaks to the work that we do every day. I want to first say thank you for believing in our organization and the work that you do to help support us on the journey. it's with a heavy heart that I stand here, right? To be able to serve 2,000 women that have been badly beaten by the horrors of addiction and trafficking, to find a new path, to help them find a new path, to collaborate in true partnership. It's an amazing opportunity. So I stand here on behalf of Her Cincinnati and the Off the Streets program, and I speak for 2,000 survivors of human trafficking, and I say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for all that you do. I remember visiting the Anna Louise Inn back in the day.
Yes.
And becoming familiar with the work you're doing. We had town hall meetings with Yvette Simpson to raise awareness about human trafficking because people didn't talk about that in that way and recognize the women as victims instead of perpetrators of a crime. And so thank you so much for not only the individual work you do that touches lives every day, but also educating the community as to what it means to do this work and how we should treat individuals that have been victims of human trafficking. So I applaud you and am very grateful for all the work that you have done over the years. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Well, you've said it all. But this is an issue that people don't want to confront. They don't want to even think that it goes on, and it's bigger than we can even ever imagine. So I thank you all for, as I said, for all the work that you're doing. Keep going.
Thank you.
We're going to come around for a photo with you guys.
I'm sorry, I didn't take the whole.
All right. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. Okay, next on the list is public comments. Do we have any public comments online? Okay. We don't have any in the room either, so we will move from that. Commissioner Dumas, I know we have, I also am going to make a motion to excuse Commissioner Reese.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes?
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Thank you. I was going to skip public comment or comments from the two of us because we're on a bit of a time frame. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
All right, we're going to move on then and move over to Administrator Ludo. I know you've got an item that you would like to discuss.
Thank you, Commissioners. So in lieu of my normal comments today, I just wanted to provide a brief update for the board on the property tax rebate proposal from the administration this year. So, and Commissioners, I had planned about a 3-minute slide presentation on this. I'm happy to do that, or I'm happy just to walk through a summary of that. What would you prefer? Because I know you're on a tight timeline today.
Just go with the 3 minutes. I'm here now.
Okay. Okay, so we'll do this.
Yeah.
I'll do it very, very
You
quickly.
had said 50 minutes.
Yeah.
That may have been different, but 3 minutes is okay.
Yeah.
All right, now I hear stopwatches starting already. So I'm a little concerned. All right, so Commissioners, the board, as the board is aware, the administration had provided a recommendation on the PTR last week. So I just want to walk through this with you briefly. Just some quick background. This is not foreign to anybody. The county has a 1/2 cent sales tax that produces around $100 million a year, which goes to fund many of our riverfront obligations, everything from debt service, operating costs and capital at the stadiums, the pilot payment to the Cincinnati Public Schools, the Paycor renovation project that we're getting ready to start, and the property tax rebate are all funded solely through the $100 million plus in revenue that come into our sales tax fund. The PTR, or the property tax rebate, is where we take up to 30% of those revenues that come into that fund and return them to homeowners in the form of property tax relief. So it's 30% of the revenues of that fund that go back into property tax relief. I want to be clear about that because this is not, and especially if the media is watching, if people are watching at home, this is not a credit of 30% on people's property tax bills. And I say that we had someone come up just about 3 weeks ago into our offices who was very concerned, wanting someone to explain to them where they get the 30% deduction on their property tax bill due to the stadium property tax credit. And we had to tell them that's not the way this works. So it's a credit. We use 30% of the revenues that come in, up to 30% of the revenues that come in as property tax relief. The board approved a full 30% in 2025, approved 12.4% in 2024, and 10.5% in 2023. The administration for 2026 is recommending a $5 million PTR for several reasons. In general, the sales tax fund maintains a balance, which is the sole reserve in this fund. We try to keep that balance at a level of around 85% of the maximum annual debt service that gets paid out of that fund every year. It currently sits at 47%. The board gave a full PTR, 30% PTR last year, so that pulled the balance down a bit. And that reserve, as the board is aware, is the sole firewall between the obligations of this fund, the legal obligations of this fund, and the general fund. So at this point in time, I'm recommending a $5 million PTR on that basis alone. However, we're also in the midst of a major renovation project starting down at Paycor Stadium. We're going to be issuing, in fact, today, we are out issuing hundreds of millions of dollars in notes that will later on be taken out with long-term debt. And the sooner we take those notes out with long-term debt, the more interest savings there are to the taxpayer long-term. And a higher balance in that fund is likely going to be necessary to do that sooner. So in the end, Commissioners, I said I was going to try to keep this short. I know this is always a challenging decision for the board. The board is feeling the pressure of decisions that were made on this decades ago. The board has done full PTRs in the past. It has done less than full PTRs in the past. This year, though, our reserve being the lowest it has been in our reconciled history in this fund, and given the magnitude of the construction and renovation project in front of us, we're recommending a $5 million PTR this year and a reassessment in coming years. The auditor's office would like us to vote on this by December the 2nd. I know the board is not meeting next week, so this at least gives a week and a half or so for some questions by the board that the administration and budget office are happy to answer, and certainly some time for additional discussion on the 2nd itself. So with that, Commissioners, I turn it back over to you. Happy to answer any questions. But again, myself and the budget office are available over the next couple of weeks to answer anything that may come up.
Thank you. I appreciate the presentation. And I just got a couple things. I will be brief. You noted it, and this is something that we've talked about every year. It comes in front of us every year because of a previous commitment that was made to individuals that could not be kept many years ago. And so we struggle with this every year. We're all interested in doing as much as we can by way of property tax relief while still being responsible when it comes to this fund that we also have an obligation to preserve. And as you say, the reserve that we have voted on in the past to keep at 85% has dipped below that, substantially below that, I might say, to 47%. And that is a direct result of the 30% that was administered last year. So from my vantage point, we are not in a position to do that this year. It's unfortunate. We always try to do as much as we can, but I understand the reason for the recommendation. Interpret the, I think people will be interested to know, the $5 million that has been recommended then for us going into next year is 4.5 or so percent.
Roughly 4.5%, Commissioner. I believe we have done, I believe from a nominal dollar value perspective, we've done close to 5 in the past. But of course, 5 becomes a lesser, the more the sales tax grows every year, that 5 becomes less than 5%. So yeah, now that we're just north of $100 million in revenue, the $5 million equates to roughly 4.5%.
Okay, I just want to be clear, kind of doing an apples to apples comparison here when we talk about the dollar amount versus the percentage. So just want to be very clear with people as they listen to this. The other piece of this is that while we're in this situation this year, we did talk about this quite a bit when we talked about the lease and our obligations through the lease, and you mentioned all of them related to debt service, operating, capital, pilot program, all the things, and the PTR. Is there, I hope there is an expectation that while we are very constrained this year, in future years, we can do better than this 4.5% and get back to what we had started a number of years ago. I know, Commissioner Dumas, you were part of this as well, thinking about a formula that allows us to keep the reserve at about 80-85%, which is the goal, and then taking that number and backing us into a formula that spits out how much we can afford to do in the PTR. And so I am hoping that we can get back to a more measured, a more predictable amount that can grow year after year as we see these situations that we've got in front of us today ameliorate, and then we can do more in the future. Is that the expectation, or rather, can we be hopeful that that's the case?
Yeah, I think we can be hopeful that is the case. I think a lot of it is going to depend upon when we are in the position to do the full takeout of the notes. So right now we're rolling notes, interest-bearing notes for the renovation, and when we take them out with long-term debt, which we want to do because that'll be a more structured, lower interest cost for the taxpayer. If the sooner we can do that, the sooner we can get back into the mode of then using upside of sales tax to provide higher levels of PTR, that type of thing. Yes.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, Jeff. On this first page where you say a full PTR is 30% of revenues, we got a figure yesterday or last night. I thought it was like 64 million if we did a 30% PTR. What was the number?
It's actually around 32 million for a full PTR.
Okay.
The 30% is roughly 32.
Where did I get the 64 from? I don't know. You don't have to figure that out.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, as a responsible elected official, we have to be able to forecast what our budget looks like. I think some of the problem is the fact that we gave the full PTR before we agreed on it, and then in 24 we gave 12.4%, and 23 10.5. We have to look at the whole scope of what we're providing for our residents, and I think as a immature politician as I was before I came in here, I was thinking, well, they're giving all this millions of dollars for the stadium and then all, but it's a whole different fund. You know, it comes out of a whole different pot of money. So we want to be able to survive. I think it was, I don't know if it was mentioned, but we have somewhat of a $60 million, maybe that's what a $60 million gap in our budget. And we're trying to get people to conform their departments so we can come out a little better. But there's just, the recommendation I think is a good one. When you look at the money, and I think Bridget gave us this, how much money it would be for the PTR if we did the 30% versus the 5 million PTR. But currently I'm in agreement with this because we have to look at the whole picture. And so we want to do more, but we have to do all things for all people. And I don't know if we'll be able to go any higher than that. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, and we will, what did you say the date for the vote has to be? December 2nd. Okay, very good. All right, anything else? All right, let's move into the regular agenda. The engineer is first, Eric Beck. Welcome.
Good morning. Just 4 items today. Item number 1 is a resolution for a consultant agreement with Civil Solutions Associates for a landslide project on Pedretti Road. This is to prepare engineering plans. We already got grant funding for this project, so this is our next step to get it out the door. All the funding will come from Permissive Auto with a completion date of March 26. Item number 2 is a resolution for an intergovernmental agreement with Harrison Township for a rental of a rubber-tired loader for the 25-26 snow and ice season. The amount is $3,000, come out of road and bridge funds. Item number 3 is a resolution authorizing a joint agreement between the Hamilton County Engineers Office and Anderson Township for construction improvements along Sutton Road from Kellogg to the Mount Washington Corp line. The township will be reimbursing the county engineer for all township portions of guardrail replacements on Eversole Road and some bridge and roadway construction on township portions. The township's portion is estimated at $4,943.75. Remaining budget will come from Permissive Auto. Item number 4 is a resolution authorizing an easement agreement between the Board of County Commissioners and the Village of Newtown for the installation and maintenance of a dry well facility for stormwater management, which will be on and through the property located at 3504 Round Bottom Road. If you're not familiar with that parcel, that's the intersection of Round Bottom and 32 where the county engineer's facility is. And this resolution also authorizes the administrator to execute the easement agreement.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Commissioner, any questions or comments?
No questions.
All right, I'm going to make a motion that we approve of regular agenda items 1 through 4.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes?
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Our next items are MSD related, who I don't know, there are quite a few MSD individuals here in the room.
Commissioner, so I know Lauren is not here today. Ryan Welsh is here. I do have a summary of all of these items. I'm happy to read through them and then defer to Ryan if there's any questions.
Is that okay with you, Ryan? Yeah.
Okay.
I think Ryan prefers that, so here we go. Yeah.
So, Commissioners, item 5 on your agenda is legislation to approve and fund construction of the new Lower Mill Creek High Water Dry Weather Protection Project, which will construct improvements to protect 3 CSO locations from waters from the Ohio River getting into the sewer system when the river is above a certain elevation. MSD is requesting $6,120,400 for this project. Item number 6, Commissioners, is actually a $0 request. This is legislation to consolidate 2 projects related to the high-rate treatment facility MSD is planning to construct at its Little Miami wastewater treatment plant as part of Phase 2B of the Wet Weather Improvement Program. There are currently 2 projects, one to prepare the site for the HRT and one to design and construct the HRT. They have the same purpose and regulatory substantial completion deadline of December 31st, 2035. So MSD is recommending consolidating those projects in an effort to increase the efficiency, both in terms of the schedule and the cost. The legislation would reallocate or consolidate the prior appropriations of the project into the main project, and it will then all proceed under one project ID in the future. And then item number 7, Commissioners, is an item to authorize the appropriation of necessary easements as well as appropriate funding for the construction of the Guest Street Tunnel portion of the East Branch Ohio Interceptor Extension Project, which is also included in Phase 2B of the WIP. The project is intended to move approximately 120 million gallons of stormwater per year from MSD's combined sewers. The amount currently requested is $157,117,696. And as a reminder, this project is being constructed in coordination with ODOT's Brent Spence Bridge Corridor Project, and the costs of that project are to be reimbursed by ODOT. And I know we do have some ODOT representatives here today if the board has some specific questions on some details of the project. But those are the three MSD projects in front of you, and I know Ryan would be happy to answer any questions if there's some more detailed concerns of the board.
Thank you. I do have a comment on item number 7. This is the one we've been talking about related to the Brent Spence, where we are going to divert the stormwater that's created through the project away from our systems so that we don't get overloaded and have flooding situations. So I am glad to be approving of this. And I'm also extremely happy that ODOT is reimbursing for this. That is, I know that was part of the plan. It is generous of ODOT to do that, so that MSD doesn't have to bear the burden of this, given the nature of the project. And that ODOT is leading the charge right on that bridge, which we're all very happy about. So I think this is great. Example of a partnership between ODOT and MSD and the county. So I just want to thank you. We've got a representative from ODOT here. Thank you for your willingness to partner with us in this and remove so much. I mean, this is a lot of stormwater, and keeping it out of the system so that we don't hear from individuals in our community that say, we've got sewer backups because all the stormwater is being pushed down into our system. So thank you very much for that partnership. We really are grateful for it. Item number 5 with the CSOs, I don't have a question so much as we've talked about CSOs in the past, and these are the combined sewer outlets. These are related to the Lower Mill Creek. Ryan, could we get maybe at the next time you come in, you guys have done a lot of work over the years related to CSOs and trying to keep that combined sewage out of the waterways. I would love to see an update related to CSOs in general, about where they are, what the progress has been, how much money it costs to do these, because I know it's a tremendous undertaking. This is $6 million, so that's a lot of money. But I know the consent decree dictates that we do this work, but it's also really good for the environment and the community. So could we get an update on where we are with the CSOs, kind of in general throughout the system? Okay, great, thank you. And no hurry on it necessarily, but maybe next time you're in, we can get a quick update on that. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Somero-Dumas.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff, for that. I'm also extremely thankful for the reimbursement from ODOT. We certainly need it and appreciate it. But this is also a prime example, as I was saying, as people are listening, $6 million for this and $157 million, and people are thinking, I know I just can feel it, that, okay, here we go again, these millions. So I'm just asking you, Jeff, as we go through our items for the next meeting, that if we can not do a better job, but just inform people where the monies, what pot the monies are coming out of, especially as we look at our 2026 budget, and some things are going to have to be downsized or eliminated or decreased. And I think we owe it to our people to let them know that this is not out of the fund, that we will take care of direct services. So I would appreciate that. So that's all I have.
Well, Commissioner, we can get that right now, right?
Yeah, no, well, I was just going to say that it's a great thought, because sometimes these numbers all do run together, and people watching from home are hearing about things like the PTR and things like that at the same time that they're hearing about spending $6 million on this or $156 million on that. All the projects that we just discussed from MSD are paid for the most part, with ratepayer funds through the sewer district. We are currently initiating a budget process for that. So that's something that folks can find on our website and can tune into. Director Christie just did an initial presentation to kick that process off the other day. But all these MSD projects are not general fund county projects. They come from rates that are generated from the system itself, just as the items before that with the engineer are primarily paid out of the road and bridge fund, completely separate pot of money from our general fund. And I know that can be confusing and complicated, but it is just the reality of not just county government, but many local governmental entities, that you just have certain pots of funding that are directly used for certain purposes and can't be used for others. So it's a great point, and happy to continue to emphasize that.
Sure, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. I'm going to make a motion that we approve of items 5 through 7.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Somero-Dumas?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. Jeff, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Commissioners, on your consent agenda, item number 8 is the auditor's financial transactions for October of 25. Item number 9 are the administration's actions for the month of October 25. Item number 10 is a budget adjustment. Total amount of $2.2 million. The largest amounts here are the county engineer, $1.7 million for the Fields Erdl construction project, as well as the board heard at staff meeting on Tuesday about the supplemental request from the Veteran Services Commission. These dollars are also included here. Item number 11, I do want to highlight a bit. This is a resolution accepting the recommendation to retain an architectural firm for a facility condition assessment for Great American Ballpark. This is recommending the administration be provided with the direction to negotiate an agreement with MSA Architects to complete that facility condition assessment. This is the result of a partnership between the county and the Cincinnati Reds. Phil Beck and Joe Paul, from the county's perspective, have led that process on the county's part. The Reds have been incredible partners with it. Vice President Tim O'Connell is here with us today. I don't have my glasses on. I got to put them back on. Who flew back in from league meetings specifically to be here for this item. So, Tim, I just want to thank you for the partnership, and don't want to. I certainly want to offer the commissioners a chance to comment on that if you would like, but I'll just go through and continue with the consent agenda at this point. Item number 12 are the bid awards and contracts of the purchasing department for October of 25. Item 13 is a resolution authorizing the purchase of one F-150 in the facilities department, $52,310. Item 14 is accepting and approving purchase orders in the amount of $852,107. Item number 15 is a resolution approving and authorizing an agreement with Plant Moran for accounting services at Job and Family Services, $37,762. Item 16 is an amendment with Terracon Consultants for geotechnical and engineering testing services at the Regional Safety Complex, $72,140. Item 17 is a resolution accepting sales tax paid on in juvenile court at $7.80. Item 18 is a resolution authorizing an amendment with Amoresco and the Board of County Commissioners. This is for the replacement of a chiller at the Taft Law Center building at 230 East 9th Street, $2.524 million. Item 19, Commissioners, is a resolution approving the tentative collective bargaining agreement between the board and the FOP representing the communication supervisor ones in the communication center. And then we have several JFS items, Commissioners. Item number 20 is a resolution authorizing a renewal of an agreement with NECO LLC for independent living services. We have item number 21 is an agreement with the National Youth Advocate Program for caseworker support services. Item number 22 is a resolution authorizing the renewal number 2 and amendment number 1 of an agreement between JFS and the National Youth Advocate Program. This is for home study assessments and kinship assessment services at $120,000. And item number 23 is a resolution authorizing an agreement between the board and Piney Ridge Treatment Center, doing business as Yellow Rock Behavioral Health for residential treatment services, $100,000. Commissioners, and item 24 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with the city of Madeira. This is a shared service agreement for fire hydrant repair services for the city, which is ultimately would be a revenue to the county. Item 25 is a resolution approving the use of credit cards by probate court. And item 26 is a monthly investment report through the Treasurer's Office for the month of October 2025, and that is your consent agenda, Commissioners.
There should be one more.
Oh, I don't have that one on
I believe we
my,
have an item 27.
Is that the sheriff's item? No. I don't have the new one. I mentioned, I think I had.
You stopped at 26.
Right, I stopped at 26. However, I want to make sure I referenced the right item. 26 on my agenda was the treasurer's report. So the item I missed was the sheriff's office. This is commissioners, the report. The report of no objection to one liquor permit application. This is at Harper Station LLC, 11301 Montgomery Road in Sims Township.
Thank you very much. I have no questions. I do want to recognize that Tim O'Connell is here also from the Reds. Thank you for being here. We're excited to get moving on this agenda item, so thank you for your participation in this. Commissioner Sommer Dumas, any questions or comments?
Just a couple comments. I also want to thank you, Tim. The Reds are great partners. I've even heard sometimes they don't even bother with us. They just do it themselves, and they're just great. And so just communicate that for me. Looking forward to working with you guys. Item 23, JFS. No real is John here? Okay, but no real questions. But as everyone knows, I've been looking at the children that are going out of state versus staying in Ohio, and I believe number 23, Piney Ridge is in Arizona. Correct, John? And I would, just for me, I'm just on this thing now that when you present placement sites, if you could possibly list which ones are in and which ones are out. I do go through the website and look at it myself, but just a little tally of which ones we're keeping here, because it's very important to me and the board, that, as I said before, that we keep our young people here. And I think that's all I have.
Okay, very good. With nothing further, I'm going to move that we approve of items 8 through 27.
Second,
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes,
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
yes.
very good. All right, we have nothing further, so I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second,
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
yes.
Thank you.